will be good with these. But...
Okay.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Book Club for Rake Appreciation Society. We have our spring book club tonight where we read Mr. Impossible by Loretta Chase and A Pirate of Her Own by Kinley McGregor. We will give people just a minute here to make sure it's going. But how are you doing tonight, Crystal?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't believe it is a Wednesday already.
I know this week is like gone pretty much already. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do not know what happened. And I'm leaving on Friday morning to go home for the weekend. And so I like only have one more day left. I'm like, what the heck?
That's fun. I know you're going to be traveling a lot in June, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a trip. Sorry, I'm reading like StreamYard and not letting us see comments now. Like, what's going on? Can someone comment and say hello to us if you can? Because I'm getting a weird thing on mine. And I just want to make sure people are actually able to talk with us before I
Yeah.
okay. There we go. Okay, there's Linda. Hi, Linda. Thank you for saying
Hi,
hello.
Linda. Hello.
I don't know what that warning is. I'll read it later, but
it's annoying. It makes comments a lot harder to see if you don't upgrade. And they keep trying to get you can try it for free for a month. They keep saying, and I'm like, I know how you work. I don't want to try it free for a month.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't do to me on my computer what it does to you on your phone, because I know what you mean on your phone. That message takes up your whole screen when it's on your phone. But on my computer, it doesn't. I just don't understand. I think the new upgrade it's talking about on my end is that you wouldn't have to like put the comment up. It would work like on Twitch where it will show them.
Just scrolls them. That'd be nice, actually.
Yes, but it was confusing me because I thought it was saying I could only see them if I did that until someone commented. I was like, what? They're going to take away comments? But it's if you want them on the screen. So, anywho, sorry. Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited. Oh, it feels like the seasons take forever, but then also these come up really fast.
I know. That's exactly how I feel. Like when we talk about it, it's like, oh yeah, that's way far away. And then it's like, oh, it's actually here right now.
Yeah, yeah. And we had to like push this one the first week of June just because May was going way too fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was like, oh, we haven't picked a day for this yet. And they were like, I don't think May will work.
Yeah. We already had stuff planned and
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
but
this
that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, that's the fun part too, is like
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was gonna say, so our next one will probably be in August, right? We haven't talked about that actually, but that's still technically summer.
Yeah, because that's the summer is that's kind of how it's set up, is that we have it's at the end of whatever season it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody, we did not get our books picked for the next one yet. We will do that in the next couple days, hopefully.
No, I was thinking about, I've got some ideas. I just haven't.
Yeah.
Jenn and I haven't talked about that yet. But.
Yeah, the days just like, I was looking for them on the one day in the Audible sale. Like I said, I was like trying to find some, and then the virtual voice was pissing me off, so I left. And I was like, "Oh, I got this later."
I keep going back and forth between like trying to find a new author for us to try, or I don't know, because I feel like we haven't had a lot of winners since we restarted Rake Appreciation Society. And maybe that's partly because we're not pulling from like the heavy hitters that we know we love.
Yeah.
But there's still good ones out there.
It's been fun though, as we've said, because we're only doing 2 a quarter, basically. I don't know, it doesn't feel as like annoying as if you do it every month and you have a loser, because it's still kind of like, oh, let me see. But anyway, I mean, I didn't feel that this time. So let's get into these.
For sure. Let's do it.
I had here, let me see what Ruth, you got through both
Oh
of
my
them. You
gosh.
finished the second one. I mean, I just finished last night, the second one. So
I just finished today, like just a few hours ago while I was making dinner. So
definitely same. But where should we start, everybody? How about we see?
yeah,
Should we start with
somebody
Mr.
comment which
Impossible?
one you want
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah. The first one we see, we'll start with.
Hmm.
So comment whichever one and we'll get started. You read both. Look, see, everyone's read both. We'll just see.
That's
Let me
so
pull it up.
awesome.
I love that. I feel like they were very readable ones.
I agree. Yeah.
There wasn't anything. Well, no one's gonna say. Okay, well, let's start with A Pirate of Her Own because that was the most fresh
Deal.
in my mind. Oh, well, Ruth said Mr. Impossible. Okay, Ruth, we'll do that instead.
Mr. Impossible. Yeah. I read that one first. I think you did too, right?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah.
So, what was everyone's ratings for this one? And did you listen to the audiobook? The wonderful Kate Redding was reading that one. She's always fun to me.
She
So,
is. I love her. I think she's a great narrator.
I like her for these type of ones though because I don't tend to want to listen to Kate Redding read intimacy scenes though because she feels like my grandma.
Yeah, yeah. And
So this one was like good. So,
Mhm.
but
I've spent so many hours listening to her narrate
yeah,
Brandon Sanderson's that it was a little hard for me to separate her from that character
yeah,
because every time she would say something, I'm like, oh, that sounds like Shalane. No, it's not.
yeah. Yeah, and I listened to her the most. I actually did listen to her in historicals first, but I always knew who she was. But I
Mhm.
listened to her in the Wheel of Time ones because
Oh,
I did listen to 8 out of the, off and on listening and
mhm.
reading. And she reads a lot of those, so that was good. But yeah, what were everyone's ratings for Mr. Impossible? How about you? You start.
Me? You want
Mhm.
me to go first?
Yeah, this was your pick.
I it
You go
was
first.
it was. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it a good amount. So yeah, this was a 4 star for me.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what Linda said here. Surprisingly, 5 stars. Really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
After Lord of
Awesome.
Scoundrels, I was nervous. Oh, you didn't like Lord of Scoundrels, Linda? I don't remember that. That was a few years ago.
She just reread it and she said it didn't hold up. She for her it didn't. Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. Apparently, I read it in January 2020, which doesn't surprise me. I know
Yeah.
quite a few other book clubs have done this. So
Mhm.
maybe that's when you read it because I pretty positive that Jess and I just
Samantha.
forgot. Yes, Jess and Samantha
Yeah.
did this one for
I
sure.
think they had it too. Or I did see like when I went and marked it as read, I saw a few people had picked this one for like the older historical romance readathon that Jess and everybody used to host.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I gave this one 4 stars as well. I definitely did. I had a
yeah,
great time with this one.
it was fun. I thought it was super fun.
Yeah. Let's see. I honestly am not sure. I think I picked it up because it was compared to
Yeah.
The Mummy and I love it. And I mean, I was tracking the beats of it. It absolutely was because I love The Mummy. I
Uh,
love that movie. And I absolutely at least got the spirit, if not almost too similar in some aspects.
See,
At
and
least the beginning.
I only watched that movie like once, way back when it came out, so I don't even really remember it a
Oh my
lot. But
gosh. You have to watch that with your kid. For real. Like it's so fun. I had watched it when I was young and then it was actually when this is funny. It was actually when I went to Universal. It was on during the day when my sister and I needed to like relax and it reignited my love of like the Mummy and then I like watched them all again and it's so good. It's so good. Brendan Fraser, y'all, is like peak, like he's
yeah,
peak. He's peak.
I do remember that. Yeah,
Never saw The Mummy. Well, I'm glad you still liked it then. That's great. Because like to me it was all
Linda,
new.
you and I should watch it and compare,
Oh yeah.
like come back and compare notes. That would be fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, I forgot the name of the actress too, but she's a babe.
Oh
And
yeah,
just the
she's such a babe.
the perfect type of like that, like charming yet uppity still, you know.
Like
And,
Rachel something. Rachel Weisz?
yeah, Rachel
Weisz?
Weisz.
Is that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Bond's wife. Yes. Love those two for sure. Yeah, so what did you like best about it?
So I feel like again, my favorite thing was the heroine. I think that this is only the third book of Loretta Chase's that I've read,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this one and Lord of Scoundrels, the heroines are both just superb. Like I just love the heroines. I think she's really complex. I think she was really both like strong and vulnerable and funny at times. Like I felt like she was just fantastic. She was the best for me. I loved her best.
Nice. I liked the adventure the best. Like,
Yeah.
truly, this kept it moving along, and I think it was paced really well. I think there was just the right amount of like humor and seriousness to the
Yeah.
story. And I just thought, I mean, we'll get into this like with one of the later questions too, but like I just thought it was very well paced. And again, part of it's probably because I was comparing it so much to a film, but it just had like a really good, like it's pushing you forward and the stakes are really clear, but also subtle at the same time. Because you're like piecing together like, oh, well, why is he in danger? Like, why is this such a big deal? And then you start being like, oh, she was going to drop on her brother. And then like, what are we going to do? And like, so yeah, I just really love how that came out.
Yeah.
The humor, especially from Rupert. Yes.
He was
sure.
great. I really liked Rupert too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He was good. Was there anything that you didn't really care for? Since, I mean, it was 4 stars, so there was something we didn't like too much. So.
Well, I think for me, I didn't feel like the pacing was perfect for me. Like that was actually one main reason why I gave it a 4 stars is because there was a stretch in the middle that was for my taste, like, and I'm not a fan of action movies really for this reason. Like there was too much adventure and not enough like character stuff happening, you know, like it was just adventure time. And I find myself checking out of scenes like that, like in movies. Like I need to have there to be a little bit more like emotional weight. And I feel like there was a big chunk of this in the middle that was just, I mean, even though there were still emotional stakes, it still just felt like there was too much adventuring for my taste. Like the balance wasn't quite right because like I just don't really care about adventurers unless I really care about the characters, and I started to feel myself like being distanced a little bit. But
Sure. I'm almost wondering if I hadn't loved the movie so much, if I would have liked the book more. Fair enough. But I also know Loretta Chase, and I just don't seem to vibe. So that's fair.
Yeah, that is.
It's fair. I will say, in my opinion, I've also read 3 Loretta Chase. We've not read the same 3 Loretta Chase, but I've read 3 of hers as well. She doesn't do like, I mean, Lord of Scoundrels, one of my favorite like historical romances of all time, but the like stuff is in a lot of like subtext and like under reading how they interact with each other. You know, like there's not like effusive love in those books.
Right.
Like and I think that in this one as well, because I was looking at it as a like adventure, like you only see the like sweetness in like small gasps of it. But what I put that I like the least is I think there was too many POVs in this. I didn't really care for the outside of those two as much. Like I didn't mind like getting like her brothers, because we do need to see what's happening there and like what the stakes are for him. But like the guy who is sent to chase after them by the guy, the like his servant, and the like there was 2 separate people. Like think like one was the dude who was like in charge of Rupert at one point. We have his POV, and then also the back. Like there's too many to keep straight for me, and I would have preferred that we get the brother's POV to see what he's going through, and then there too. Like I didn't, you know, if we were gonna have the like villains or whatever, that's to me where you have that in the prologue or something. Like have that in the prologue where you're setting that up, and then anyway, that's my thoughts.
I feel like it kind of added a little bit of interest for me just because I think the thing that tripped me up with the not enough like character and emotional type of stuff, because I do know like she does do subtext and small, but I think that a big stopping point for me was how Rupert's act that he was like putting on, like his idiot dumb, like
Mhm.
I feel like that just kind of, I don't know. I just found myself just checking out there during some of the middle of it. But I kind of liked the other perspectives just because I thought it was unusual and not something that you see a lot in historical romance, and I thought it was kind of interesting. It wasn't like a favorite thing of mine, but it didn't diminish how much I enjoyed it for me.
Yeah. I think when I get to another part of mine, I'll explain more what I mean, but I'm gonna wait because it literally has to do with the later question I was asked. So, um, Ruth said she wasn't always sure who the bad guys versus the good guys were. Yeah, and that's what I mean, Ruth. Like I miss a like name here or there, and then I was just always confused when we would jump away from them.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And when you have in a historical romance, we only have one narrator. I'm also not then connecting the voice to the person either.
Yeah,
Um, like it's
that's true.
all Kate has a very wide range of characters she can do, but
Mhm.
if I have more than two POVs done by the same narrator, that can get a lot for me. That's just me with audiobook specifically. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, so what do you feel about the hero? What would you rate him 1 out of 10?
Hmm. Honestly, like I think I'd probably rate him an 8. Like I really liked him. I liked him a good amount. I thought he was really good. I really, really loved the whole scene when she was so worried that she wasn't womanly and he reassures her so much. Like that was probably my favorite part in the whole book. I just adore, and that
Yeah,
like sent his rating through the roof for me.
yeah, yeah,
Without that part, he probably wouldn't have been an 8, but
yeah.
I loved that. So I liked him a lot.
I Yes, I love that. And I loved how he's very attracted to her, but the
Yeah.
comments he's thinking about how she's attractive, I love. And
Yeah.
that's something that Loretta Chase does do because she does that in Lord of Scoundrels as well. And it's one of the reasons why I love Dane because he is being attracted while he's being annoyed. And
Yeah.
Rupert's not even so much annoyed with her. He's just a little bit baffled and also fascinated.
Mhm.
And, he likes ruffling her feathers, but he also is a little bit like he has respect for smart women because he has smart women in his family. And not just smart, I mean, academically smart women
Yeah.
because he has someone in his family. So he, of course, isn't looking down at her for that. But yes, he does play his like dumb act a little bit, but I don't know. I enjoyed him a lot. I did give him a 7 because I wanted again like well, I'll just say no. Like I think that for me as hero and heroine, I found them strong characters, but the romantic aspects to him I wasn't getting as much as I wanted. Though I loved how he was thinking about her and I like that he was showing his attraction by being like impressed with like little moments about her.
Yeah.
Um, it still, like, wasn't that romantic for me, and so
Yeah, I would agree.
that's
Yeah.
where, that's what I mean about, one of the later questions. So he was a 7 for me, but he was definitely more towards a like, I liked him. There wasn't
Mhm.
he is the rakish, like, young like, 4th son, and again, having read, I've read another one of the books in this series? No, I didn't. I've just made that up. That's another one. I've heard reference to the other Carsingtons, and it's probably because of Jess. And I just realized I did not read that myself. That is the osmosis of a secondhand discussion of the siblings. So I'll just take that back. But he has that vibe of like, I've been able to get away with a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
he's a bit reckless, but he's
Yeah,
that, like, heart
definitely.
of gold. He's the scoundrel with the heart of gold, um, and yeah, so, yeah, I like that about him a lot. And I liked him during his proposal, blaming Daphne for not telling him that he was in love.
I liked that too. I thought he was just such a refreshing and cute hero. Like I really, really liked him. There
Mhm,
were definitely not as many like romantic moments, but
mhm.
I don't know. I'm super weak for a hero who immediately reassures the heroine when she's like insecure about something. Like
Yeah,
I just love
yeah,
that so much.
yeah.
Because not all heroes do that, you know? Like
Right, right. And I don't know, he doesn't, like to me, he doesn't really poo-poo what she needs him to do. He doesn't make
yeah,
it
yeah.
easy for her, but he's like, "Yeah, whatever, I'm going on this adventure with you, like, I'm here,
Yeah,
fine," you know?
yeah,
And I just think that was good because he very easily could have been like, "I just feel obligated because you helped me get out of this, and so I'm gonna,
yeah.
talk down to your plan the whole way
Mhm.
through," but he's more like, "Okay, sure, I'll help with it,"
Yeah, see,
and that's good-natured, like, I like that.
very, very good
Mhm.
natured. Yeah, I really liked him. He's a solid 8 hero for me. I thought
Good.
he was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. See? Y'all are making me want to reread it. I mean, try it again. Like, it was fun. It's a pretty
Yeah.
quick read too. Like, it wasn't, well, they were both right around 300 pages. Like, I got through this one in one sitting, actually. I listened to this one in one sitting. I had such a good time working on my puzzle and listening to it. So,
Yeah.
liked it. Okay, we got to keep moving though, because Big Sis has to leave right at 9 today. So, what about Daphne? Daphne Pembroke.
I think she is probably honestly, I think she's probably a 9. I really, really liked her as well. Like that was my favorite. The adventure was super fun. I thought
Mhm.
the setting was really unique and I think it suited their personalities really well because you could see a lot of really good banter, but 100% it was like both of the characters, the hero and heroine were so good. I just loved her. I thought she was so strong and I like how she wasn't afraid to be vulnerable with him and
Mhm.
while at the same time like she saved them so many times how she would I liked how she would always talk about he would give the animals some direction in English, and she's like, "Well, they don't speak English, you know, like they speak Egyptian." Like, I loved her. I thought she was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she was a 7 for me too. They were both 7s for me. I like them both equally and, again, like, yeah, we'll just blend this into it because the next question is like, what do you think of the romance?
Yeah.
And that is why this one is at a 4 and why they're like at 7s is because this was a good story for me.
Mhm.
But if I hadn't have been into the adventure, this would have been boring to me what was happening between them. Like,
Yeah.
I like them. They don't have any qualities I dislike, but they also don't, like, stand above, and because I have read 2 other Loretta Chase, both of which had a both have devastatingly good romances to me, totally different, but very devastating. This one was just kind of like, "They're gonna do well together." Like, they
Yeah.
made me happy. I don't have a reason to down talk to them. This is a book, like, I'll remember this, but I don't think I'll remember them as a couple. I'm gonna remember that, "Oh, this is the one that's like the mummy and it was fun." Um, they're very opposites attract. They had good banter, but I didn't so much feel that they were, like, falling in love until, like, they just were. So,
Yeah. I agree. This
it
was
was fine.
definitely a very abrupt falling in love.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of you got to
Which does feel
see
like a
them falling in
movie
love.
in itself
Yeah.
too,
True. Very
like,
true.
very
Yeah.
much with that. Which again is why I appreciated that he wasn't thinking straight up sexual thoughts about her constantly, because
Yeah.
that wouldn't have worked in this context. It would have been so off and
Mhm.
um which I shouldn't be surprised. It's Loretta Chase, but I'm just so sick of it in other places that it stands out that I'm like, these two are just two great people going on this
Mhm.
adventure, saving her brother. Um, it hit me when there was when she thought he died and how he died. Like that
Yes.
was the most like impact in the story for me.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, they are really cute. Like that's when I like felt it. I wasn't like
Yeah.
really, I was just like, it'll be a cute HEA. Like I don't think that where their intimacy scenes happened really made sense. I almost felt like she just needed to put one in there.
I agree. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Like,
I was a little
would have been fine if there wasn't one. Like, I honestly,
yeah.
I rarely think that. Me personally, I'm always like, oh, I wish we had. I would have been like, this could have just had a very romantic kiss in it,
Yeah.
and I would have probably been fine because it felt weird where we put it. Like, aren't they in the tomb the first?
Yes.
I'm like, I know this is the time they're alone and without chaperones, so this has to be the time, but like, they're like dead bodies in here. Okay. No. Anyway, it felt weird. He fell in love with her but didn't recognize it as love until he was told. Ah, that's what that feeling is.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was so cute. I really liked that.
Yeah. Rupert with the donkeys after Daphne said that about talking to them. Well, they'll never learn, will they? If it doesn't make it.
I loved
Yeah, it
his
was charming.
responses so much. Yeah, this was a fun one, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was very fun.
Well, and for me, that's why so number 7 is always like, what do we think of the plot? And whether or not like an adventure is what someone like wants to read, I do think it had a very good setup and carry out for it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think things felt pointless, even if there were some like lull spots. I don't think that anything felt like pointless. Like, it felt very tight of like each character kind of served a purpose through it, to me anyway. Like,
Yeah.
it is it a romance or is it just a historical fiction? That's though where I think it was lacking. But this isn't a plot where you're just like, well, who's this? Like, it was pretty
Yeah.
set up what it was going to be. So I like that.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely.
He renamed all the animals and the people, Linda, and the people.
Yeah, that's true. I also loved the little mongoose. Like, that was fun.
Yes, yes. And the oh, that was a good scene too. The one where she almost gets bit, right?
Yeah,
That was a good scene. I mean, that was intense, but
it
um
was.
how about the like 13-year-old who's gonna get married or something? Was he
My gosh, I know.
weird? Marigold, yeah. So
Marigold.
many people. But yeah, and then the last question always is like, would you read this author again? We already said we've each read this is our third one from her. So yes, we have read her before. Would we read
Yeah.
her again? And I mean, I definitely will.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. I would really like to finish this series. I think this book 2, I think I saw. Or
I
was
think
that
it may
maybe
be, I don't know. There's Miss Wonderful, um, Lord Perfect, and then another one too, I think. And yeah, I think Jessen liked them all. Like I said,
yeah.
I'm osmosising the other ones into this because I think she liked the oldest brother one the best, actually.
Yeah.
So whoever the heir is or whatever. So I'll have to see that. But I wonder if we get is it his cousin who's the other bookish person? Miles doesn't get one? Okay. Maybe she said someone else. Or is
Oh,
Miles her
darn.
brother? Or is Miles older? Like, I can't tell you the family tree right now because I can't. But I know that there's Lord Perfect and Miss Wonderful are two of the other ones because I have them up there. So is the Last Hellion also one? I don't
I
know.
think that's a different. Isn't that a different? I don't know. I
That one
can't
might be
remember.
a part of the Lord of Scoundrels because that one
I think
series,
it is because
yeah, and that series is like Lord of Scoundrels. I believe is the third one because I've read the first one, which is the other one I did read. That was devastating. That one was a lot. Okay, let's switch over to A Pirate of Her Own so that we can get through this one. So this fun little nugget right here, which has I can't remember what he's called, but it has like, the very well-known romance guy on the
yeah.
cover. It's on all of
Is
them.
that Topaz Man? Is that who that one
I
is?
don't think that's this guy. That's why I believe this is the like Avon like version
Oh, yeah.
because there was a version for each. The Topaz Man one does look a little bit more a certain way, but
Yeah,
this
he's
was
got like really dark hair.
yes, yeah. So yeah, this one, what did everybody rate this one? This was an interesting one.
You have to go first on this one.
I will go first. I gave this one 3.5 stars.
Okay.
I did. I Yeah, because I did not like it as much as Mr. Impossible,
Yeah.
but I also had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a 3.5 to me. I'll say like why it bumped to that half, but I would round it down when I rate it.
Yeah.
Like I would rate it a 3, but like it's more like a 3.25 to 3.5. And again, I have a reason for that, but like, yeah, it was very strong for me up till a certain point. I will say that. Maybe you can know up to a certain point. Like I was having a good time with this one. So yeah.
I gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
3 stars. And I had a lot of fun with it too. Like, I listened to that all today, like,
Mhm.
beginning to end today. I was grooming Wanda, so I was
Mm.
out there for hours in the garage, and I
Yeah.
had a pretty fun time with it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
flew by. It was really a fast one to get through. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it. Like, a 3 star for me is I feel like it's kind of changing over time. Like, I liked it. I didn't hate anything about it. I don't have anything to rant about. I had a few things that made it not quite like a 4 or a 5, but
Mm.
I thought it was a bit
This is
I
another
thought it was pretty fun.
example of it
What's your
reminding me of
rating?
something I deeply love, but worse to give it 2.5. It was a 3.5 until oh, girl, I know which point you mean, Lexi. I know which point you mean because it's why it can't be higher for
Yeah.
me. We're gonna get
I was surprised to hear your rating actually
yeah.
about this one.
The reason I say that is because of the time it came out.
Yeah,
I would not accept this from anything that came out after 2010. I wouldn't.
yeah.
And we'll get to
What
that.
is this, 99, is that
Yeah.
right? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's very much of a specific time of historical romance, okay? And
yeah,
well, so I'm like and I just had such a good time. The audiobook also gave it at least a 0.25 star because I love
yeah.
Will Thorne. Absolutely fantastic performance through all of
He
it.
did a great job. Yeah.
Ruth said, "This seemed so familiar to me. I think I must have read it in the past. I thought it was kind of cute and fun for the most part. Didn't like the ending." Yeah, I think everyone's gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. I the ending, like, yeah, we'll get
We'll
there.
get
We'll
there.
get there.
We'll get there. So yeah. So what did we like best? Let's start with that.
Okay, you answer these first, right?
Yeah. I liked the crew and the situation. I love a pirate thing. Again, I commented to Crystal in one of our messages that we had 2 adventure books this
Yeah,
time, and
yeah.
that was fun. Like, it didn't purposely pick a theme for this, um, but I like that,
Maybe we
and
should pick a theme. Sorry.
we'll
Maybe we
discuss.
should.
We'll figure it out. Maybe that will help us narrow things down better because we're so, like, always all over the place with stuff. Um Anna Kelly, I'm sorry to hear. I'm so sorry, Annie. We said this at the beginning. We haven't picked yet, but we'll share soon. We haven't had time,
Uh,
but I'm sorry about that. I also like the ship and like I said that, the crew, but I like the purpose of said ship is what I mean. Like
yeah,
I like the mission. I like what they're doing. And so that, like I said, carried a lot of it for me.
mhm,
Um, because yeah, it was kind of in adventure mode. So
yeah.
love a good pirate book, and I didn't hate that it reminded me of The Gift, but sadly, this didn't quite hit the mark. Yeah, okay.
So I think I also really liked the crew. I loved the crew, and I just loved just the whole setting that they were on a ship. I loved the purpose of the ship. I loved that he was a little bit of like that he was a pirate. Like, I just thought that that was really fun. I don't think I've read a ton. I think this may only be like the second or third pirate historical that I've ever read. So I thought it was fun. It was like, it felt very get to the point quickly. I didn't feel really like there was anything lagging in here, and maybe that is just because I was able to listen to it all in one go. But
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yes, Amber coming in with the same. I gave it 2 stars, frustrating heroine and really annoying. Yep, yep, for sure. Okay, what did we like the least? And I think everyone's saying it in their comments. So yeah, I mean, just threw us a secret baby and a 13-month separation right at the end. So
yeah,
pretty much tanked it for me.
that was pretty frustrating for sure. The
Ugh.
The
So messy.
separation and the fact that it was right at the end, like
Yeah.
I I I'm not as much of a stickler for a secret baby as I know a lot of people are, but I also just sort of felt like that just wasn't fair to throw that in right at the
Mhm,
end, you know? Like,
mhm.
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, I hated it because of the placement.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that and as I was reflecting on this when I was because I finished this one yesterday while I was helping my friend in her classroom, and I was really, thinking about how I could have liked this better, and I think that she was on the ship too long with them.
Yeah.
I think that if you wanted it to be a secret baby situation, the way to do it is to have they have a whirlwind thing, almost like a one night stand fling, and then he drops her off in a safe place and is like, "It's best for you not to be with a pirate," and
Yeah.
heads out of there. And then he can't stop thinking about her, and we have an act two where he hunts her down and discovers everyone's been keeping the secret from him because he just, screwed her and left.
Yeah.
And then there could have been a redemption part because instead what you have is that she didn't tell him and her excuse was like, "I was waiting for you to come." And I'm like, I hate that excuse. I hate that
Right.
excuse. Like you have people directly related to him keeping a secret for you and he's
Yeah.
just killing himself trying to find her, but no one will tell him where she is and she's like, "You didn't try hard enough?"
Yeah, that was also a moment where I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, yeah, that ex she expected him
Yeah.
to just yeah, that was frustrating for sure.
Yeah, yeah, because at least if they'd had, a one night fling thing and he left her, and then she was like, "Well, I'll never see him again, I don't have a way to find him," because she hadn't connected with all of his people, there was people
Yeah,
actively keeping the secret for her from him as well, and
yeah,
that I just don't like because they saw how it was tearing him up and they were just like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on this girl's side over this man who's looked out for me for all this time." And who's killing himself to find her. So it made it seem like I don't know, it made it feel like everyone betrayed him, but yet he's still the shit somehow because she had a
right.
baby. So he looks like the shit. And I'm like, I don't know. Should he have let her leave after that night? Maybe not. But also, he tried. He
Yeah,
tries. So I don't know. It just felt
he really did. That was
yeah.
something I liked about him is he was very earnest and he really did try to, like, do what was right.
Right, but if it had been she was on his ship, they sleep together, go back, he doesn't stop thinking about her, but it's not like they were fully in love and he sent her away.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like she had her fling with her pirate. Maybe she's used it to write the book. And then he hears
right?
about the book and looks her up and she has a kid and he's like, "Rah?" I don't know. If that had been the story of a redemption thing for that, and now he takes her on the boat again, and the kid is, 5 or something. The kid's actually it isn't just that he's been trying to find her for that. Anyway, whatever. I could rewrite all
Yeah,
of it. So, really, truly, the answer to this before we, continue with these is that I was nicer to it because I'm kind of discounting the very end of it. And I know I shouldn't do that for stuff, but again, to me, that was very much a time that this was written, that's something they did. If
yeah,
you had sex, you have a baby. That is very much of the time that these ones were written. If you
very
are the
true.
virgin who has sex with a baby is a consequence, always. And so as soon as they had sex, I was like, "She's having a baby." I knew it, I saw it coming. It was the more so the 13, 14-month jump that I was like, "Really?" That's what annoyed me, you know, where I was kind of like, if I wanted to rage, I would do what all of you guys did and give it 2 stars, and I may still, I don't know, but I thought it was really cool for a lot of other parts of it, so I'm really trying not to. But anyway, so, is that the same reason for you? Sorry, I didn't ask you what reason
Uh
you didn't like it for. You explain.
Not not really. I mean, it was a little disappointing, but the thing I liked the least was the heroine. I really struggled with her. Like she was just seemed she's the type of heroine that is very stubborn and is going to do whatever she wants, but she doesn't have any idea what type of situation that she's in. She's just
Yeah.
annoying in that way. And that's a very typical, like, historical romance heroine from, again, like a certain time.
Yeah.
Everybody's like babying her. Everybody's telling her she can't do this. And she's like, I'm going to do it anyway. And I just found her to just be annoying. Like, I didn't like her pretty much at all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just found, so it was really just, that's mostly what I didn't like about the ending. I was just, by the time I got to the end, I was like, yeah, I would expect her to do that, but
Yeah.
I was still, yeah, I didn't care for her much.
Okay. Well, what did you rate the hero?
Okay. You go first.
Me
I
first.
keep forgetting.
I gave him, I have like I gave him a 5 to 6.
Yeah.
And I'm giving him like kind of the leg up because of what he's doing. Again, I like the mission of his ship and what he'd been through and what he's doing for his crew and his people. But I don't really like how he dealt with her.
Yeah.
And as we said about the first book, how I loved how Rupert thought about the heroine. I didn't care for how he thought about her. He was trying to get in her pants like the whole time.
Exactly.
And I was just like, you know, there'll be consequences to this, you dope. And sure enough, weren't there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'm like, it's kind of right down the middle, because there were things that were compelling about him and that I liked. And then with her, they were not a great couple.
No, I didn't feel like that either. Like, I did not see them being a good couple either. Like, at all.
Yeah. I don't know.
I also gave him a 5. I think he is definitely a very middle of the road hero. There were some things I did like about him. Like, I don't care how toxic it is. I always love a possessive hero. And when he got a little jealous, I was still like, okay, that's fun. You know?
Yeah. Also on this, Amber, this is a great point too, because okay, so I started this book a week ago, and then I listened to it a couple days in a row, and then I didn't finish it until yesterday because of other things I had to get done. And I was struggling yesterday to remember the very beginning of the book, but I also didn't care enough to go back to finish it. But I will say that I understand her being annoyed that her dad is like, well, you can't ever like do the journalism. But I'm also like, but what type of stuff do you want to be a journalist about?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really feel she just wanted to because she was told she couldn't because she's a woman, which again, I can appreciate that as like, that's a dumb reason for her not to. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, is it only because you're a woman or actually because you're a bit incompetent and cause problem? You know, like some stuff might be sexist and some of it might be like, well, you might, I don't know. But then again, I'm like, I couldn't remember quite the beginning of like, I don't know, because didn't she kind of make up a story? Like, isn't that what this was? Is that she made up something that was true?
Well, that's the thing where I thought too. I was like, is that I was wondering if there was going to be some like fantastical element and he was going to be like the character she wrote come to, like, that's where I was expecting it to go, right? Because otherwise I'm just sort of like, this is a very weird coincidence. But yeah, so because
I was wondering if I missed it, and like if there was someone who used to be on his crew who she'd come across them and wrote the story. But no, it's supposed to be that she completely made it up.
I feel like she was inspired by, I was also confused about that. Like, I feel like she was inspired by the true thing that he did. But then she made up a fictional character. I don't know. It was a little like, I feel like it was poorly explained, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, good. I was just like, maybe I don't remember this. I don't know, but it didn't. Yeah. And then like the guy wanted to kill her the whole time. I'm like, why? Nobody believes her anyway. Just let her go. You know, like she wasn't a credible threat anyway. I'm like, why do you want to kill this chick? Just let her go.
And I also feel like if that was supposed to make us feel like she was in danger, like it just didn't, because it just seems so unbelievable. Like
Right.
there's no, she's not a threat. Nobody's gonna believe her. Like, I don't know.
Because Ruth, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's because Daphne is competent. That's the
Yeah.
difference. Again, yes, there is sexism in both of these situations, and I don't love that. But how do women overcome that? You can't just spout off. You have to be competent so that when people challenge you, you can be like, well, now you just look sexist. If you're actually bad at it, it gives them a reason to point a finger. Is that right? No, but that's how it is. Daphne is competent
Yeah.
and is really good at it. And so then when people are disparaging her, you're like, hey, you're an idiot. She's smarter than you.
Yeah.
Like, stop
Well,
it.
and that's the thing. Like Daphne was competent, but she was also intelligent, you know?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
this heroine in this book, I can't even remember her name, and I just listened to it today. I know her name, I just forgot it. But
Serenity.
Serenity, that's right.
Mhm.
Amber mentioned the curtains, and I agree. That pissed me off so much. I was like, "You stupid idiot woman! Like, why? What is the point of that? That was such a stupid scene." And I feel like the book was just full of her doing ridiculous things like that that made absolutely no sense, and she was just
Yeah.
too stupid to live. That she is the embodiment of that type of heroine.
The
You
thing
know?
that bugged me a bit is, that thing she just did. That's also what Bennett Sharp does.
Oh, that's right.
Because he said she has to make clothes before she can leave. But
That's
anyway,
right. Yeah.
it made me laugh about it. But she's competent. I think she heard rumors and wanted to tell that story.
Okay.
I love Daphne because she can back it up. So,
Yeah.
what did you rate Serenity before we just move past it?
Me?
Yeah,
Oh gosh, like a 3. I could not stand her.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
hated her.
Like I said, I had given them both 5s for their different
Yeah.
reasons. But after talking about it, I would give her a 4 because I did, like I said, I appreciated him better. But they were both low for me.
Yeah.
And she'd be less so just talking through it because remembering all the obstinate things she did. Now, again, like to speak to a few things I liked, why I like the crew. Like I like how she was with the crew when she was using some knowledge she had from reading books and
Yeah.
articles to be able to help them. It was only ever when she was trying to literally throw a fit, which, to be fair, you talk about him getting a bit possessive and jealous, which is true. He would get that over like dumb things, and that would like
Yeah.
lead her to try to escalate it into more
True.
where he then locks her in the room again when she's getting along with people. So he
Yeah.
didn't exactly help. But anyway, and Rupert appreciates.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just, yeah, I really kind of struggled with how to rate this book
Yeah.
because I do feel like I was a bit generous because I just
Mhm.
it was entertaining to listen to, but at the
Exactly.
same time I was like rolling my eyes and kind of frustrated with her and thinking she was so stupid.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that was why at the rating of it, I said it was like a 3.25 to 5, but I would round it down because I didn't hate listening to it,
Yeah, yeah.
but that was with the narrator and with like some of the adventure stuff.
Hmm.
And then it was fast. That
It
audiobook was
was.
only 6.5 hours. I thought it was maybe a bridge, but no, it's because this book is like they use bigger type
Oh, is
to
that
make it look
why?
normal. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it is like
It was such a fast read. I was
the
like,
ebook is only 300 pages. This one's
yeah.
almost this is 370, the physical book. So
Hmm.
it just went, I thought it was an abridged version because it was so fast. So I
Yeah.
listened to it in like 3.5 hours total. So it was quick. So yeah. But that leads us to like what we thought about the romance. I think we kind of talked about that. I didn't
Yeah.
really care for it. I wasn't really sold on it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was 100% physical. Like I think they had good banter and stuff.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
So it wasn't completely that, but it felt a little bit that.
it
Like
did.
I think her being attractive kept him from like killing her to start.
I agree. I
And
agree.
then he kind of liked her more talking to her. So that's where I'm
Yeah.
like, being pretty can help sometimes.
Yeah, it can.
She constantly wanted to push him away, make up your mind.
Yeah, she
Right.
did do that
Right.
a
Like
lot.
she sleeps with him And then, like, even when he shows up, she's like, you didn't try hard enough. And I was like, maybe he didn't have good sex with you, and then he had nothing with you, because what was there? Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about the plot for this? And we kind of talked about that too. It
Yeah, I
was,
mean,
yeah,
it was fine. I think it was like it was fine.
yeah,
That's the thing where I feel like this book is a little perplexing. Like, why did I give it like I can't even really explain the plot
yeah,
wholeheartedly. While there were still things that were happening that were taking me from the beginning to the end, it's still just sort of like
yeah.
it was fine.
This is one that, like, I feel that if it had lived up to its blurb, it would have been really good to me, because, like, there's just a little piece of, like, few know his name, but many fear him. He
Yeah.
rescues impressed American sailors from British vessels, and a beautiful reporter. Like, how is she a reporter? That's my thing. Like, maybe a writer. Like, you can maybe put it to a writer, and I guess it's because it's
Yeah.
a newspaper she writes for, so we're saying reporter. But, like, I was thinking something different about what this
Yeah.
book would be. Like, I thought she was gonna, like, sneak aboard it and, like, really trying to get the story to, like, prove it to her dad about it, and instead it was like she just got whisked along with it. Like, when did she ever show true, like, reporting grit or anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like that was one of the weaker parts of the whole story. It was just like a reason for her to know about him and to
yeah,
get on the ship in the first place.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when it all comes down to it, if I'd read her again, I do wanna read this author again.
Yeah, I would
Specifically,
too.
I wanna read her Highlander books is what I wanna read.
Mhm.
She has a Scottish series. I also like Master of Seduction must be, the couple that had a baby and was already together or whatever. Um, that other couple, whatever their name is. Is Jake the one who's married, or
I
who's the
can't remember.
one? So, yeah.
Like,
But
I did
anyway,
look up their names too right before I came on, and then they still left my brain. But
yeah. I mean, he has a pirate name, Morgan Drake, and then there
yeah,
was some relation to, like, uh other pirates. Like, he did mention some pirates that he was actually like someone was related to or whatever, because they were like, don't say that about Bonnie Reed or whatever. Which I don't know. So anyway, I mean, all in all, we've read worse, I'll say.
yeah, for
um
sure, for sure.
they weren't torturous or 500 pages long. They were both quick and fun, and
Mhm. I mean, I had a good time reading both of
yeah.
them, like, and I am so glad I finally read this author because I've never read her paranormal stuff either.
I know.
I, yeah, so,
She writes some great ones. She really does. I have a few.
yeah,
I've said this before. She popped my cherry for paranormal romance, so I'll love her forever. Like,
yeah.
fantasy lovers is one of the
That's the one.
best.
I was trying to think of what was the one that's super
Yeah,
famous, and it's that one. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it's so good. But yeah, and yeah, like we said, everybody, we will share with you when we get a couple picked. It just didn't happen yet, but we won't have book club till August for summer, so
Yeah.
most of us don't read these till the last week anyway, so we'll have time.
I literally just read these the last 3 days, so
Yeah. I think I'll just say this too, at least you've been really back in your historical romance groove, because then
I
it's like,
know. It's
it
so
doesn't
nice.
feel as much of a
Yeah.
letdown if you have a mid one when you've been reading you've been reading a lot of them,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I haven't been able to read as many of them, so then when you read ones that are just okay, you're like, "Oh, why do I even read
I
these?" Which but
yeah, I've had a good time with historicals again lately. I'm so happy
good,
about that.
good. Well, everyone, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you to everyone who read it. Thanks for everyone for showing up. And keep an eye on my Instagram, or I do still post us in the Discord, even though I know we don't use the Discord, but I do still put the updates there if you follow it. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Have a good
Bye.
night. Bye.